Today I'm going to share about my teaching development grant, although I didn't get it from Ningnam because some of you know that I joined Ningnam just in July, but I thought since there was only one speaker, then I just stepped in, and I think you might be interested. This TDG was about flipped classroom. So how many of you have heard of flipped classroom? I think Albert, how many have heard about flipped classroom? Oh, almost all. Yeah, actually, some of you might know that I worked for quite a long time at the Education University of Hong Kong. There we have a lot of emphasis actually on online learning. So we have 13 weeks of teaching, and we are allowed to take 3 weeks as online learning. So actually, that's why we have a lot of buffer to try different things. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is you might know that I'm sort of like an IT girl, but actually I'm not really a technician, or I don't know a lot of hardware, mainly application, because my area was actually information system, and I did my undergraduate and all the way is information systems. So this presentation is about how to transform learning via flipped classroom. And this is actually a project that I have collaborated with faculties from 2 faculties. At that time, I was at the Faculty of Liberal Arts, and this has nothing to do with this liberal arts. It's just somehow it's called that. And social sciences. Another one is some colleagues from Faculty of Education and Human Development. And I was the project leader. So in this project, we use the wiki to host anything that is related to the project. So before that, we have a formal meeting. Actually, what I did was prepare my colleagues about flipped classroom. Okay, so how did I do that? Actually, because it's a TDG and I have a research assistant, so I asked him to find out some video on flipped classroom, and then I look at it, and then I find out some questions for my colleagues to fill in. So you can see in this capture that this one is about to get a video, and then they're not just look at it, to make them really engaged, that they have to fill in the questionnaire. Okay, so do not think the RA do everything, but it is really a good assistant that I have looked at a few flipped classroom video, and I select some, and then I came up with some question, but however, he was the one to put it into the wiki site. Okay, so there also are larger sizes, so you can see what I've seen before, what I've shown you before, and then there were a few videos on that, and I also picked up a few that are more advanced ones that I said it is further videos if they are interested in. All right. So before we started, actually, we usually have a called the preparation meeting, because although I said I'm the project supervisor, I was the one that know most about the project. Although before submission, I wrote the proposal and asked for comment, but some of you might be a teacher here, you know, nobody have any comment, or nobody really read the proposal. Okay, but then some of you might ask, how come I will get some colleague to join me? Well, actually, it is really a long history, because I have been very active in applying TDG, and in some of the seminar, actually, some of my colleagues said they are interested to join. So, for example, the following round, then I will ask. So that is how I get a few of the colleagues that are interested to using technology in teaching and learning. So a lot of the people actually have been with me or with my other colleague. My other colleague is also very active in applying TDG. So sometimes he applies, sometimes I apply. So it's like continuously we have teaching development grant. And also actually it is very important if any of you are interested in applying teaching development grant, because it's not easy to hire research assistant. And another thing is not easy to maintain or keep the research assistant, because a lot of them were fresh graduate. They didn't have a lot of experience, so we are sort of like to train them, so give you a few months of settling in. So I hope if you are applying for teaching development grant, think of more and more later, just like what we did. So as I said, we have some preparation meetings. So this one is the first one that I was introducing about the what does it mean by flipped classroom. Actually, I didn't really say. It's because normally in university or in school, usually students come to classes like you, sit there, listen, and then after the class, they will go home to do their homework or to do group project. Flipped classroom means actually it is the reverse. The students have to study before they attend class. Then you will say, well, no, it is impossible. I won't do that. I remember even when I was a university student, some of the professors at that time asked us to read and go to class. Well, I really seldom did, except for the accounting course. So because, or as I said, I was studying business. For the accounting, actually at that time, my professor did not teach. Every class is to access the answer for the accounting exercise that was given by him, all right? So it was the one exception that I had. So for this virtual classroom, you will also think, oh, well, no student would like to study prior to attending class. So what I did is actually to give them time. As I said, we were giving time that they have online study. So they don't have to come to class, and they do online study. So we have that flexibility. However, this teaching development grant, I did not develop a lot. It's not for, at that time we have very long hours, 3 hours, and it didn't last that long. So I would just said you will come just after the break. That means 1.5 hours later, so they don't have to come. So this is the attraction for them to do it at home. And I will also say, when you come to class, you will have to do some exercises, all right? So this one was my own introduction, and this is the sharing. And it is also very important that we learn from each other to see what we have done and what challenges we have and what should we go ahead. So you can see that a few of us just share, and this one I find that this is very interesting actually. This colleague is a music teacher, and he find some video that is about a musical instrument, and then during class you can see the students were actually discussing finding a way of sort of inventing a song using that musical instrument. All right. So during the class, the student, rather than sitting here like all of you are doing right now, they are doing group projects. So they're discussing. So the work done is in class, and the reading is at home. So that's the meaning of flipped classroom. Okay, so you can see that this is the list of the work that we have done for different areas. So the first one is mine, and the second one is about health, and some are about English, and some about IT as well, all right? So then come to my own class. At that time, I was teaching a class which is actually not degree student, it's high dip student. Is for early childhood education. So you might know actually for Education University, we have trained a lot of kindergarten teachers, and it is well sorted. So, you know, even the live now, we have, I think, some of the courses for that. So this was the one that is called IT in Education. So what is the course about? So it is a mix of theory as well as some of the soft skills. So when it is actually that year we have 7 classes teaching the same thing. Actually, I was the only one using the flipped classroom because I got the funding. And for the software, actually all the software we use what we call the web base, so that after the student have learned the soft skills, they could use it when they are at kindergarten, because as you know that they do not have a lot of money for purchasing software. All right, so they have to learn a lot of software, very simple. Some students that they have already learned in their secondary school, like Audacity and some like movie makers and things like that. One of them is called the Pixeler, is the image editing, is the web base. All right. So when I look at the syllabus, I just thought what might be a good way of flip the classroom. So actually, this is for me the hardest part for coming up of something that the student will be interested to learn by themselves, and it will be also useful for them to have a way of reviewing if they do not know. Okay, so I look up of that. And also, although there's some theory, and I don't think that it might be a good idea to put a PowerPoint about some IT in education thing, all right? So I came up with the image editing. So as I said, the students were high dip student, and I was sort of lucky that I have two classes. Actually, because if you do any kind of research, if you only have very few students, it is very unlikely that your paper will be accepted. So when I say about teaching development grant, over there it is has been changed. Previously was mainly really talking about some innovative teaching and learning, and then it changed to what we call scholarship of teaching. We were really encouraged to publish what we have done at university. All right, so in the application, we have to say, are we going to disseminate? So one of the things, of course, is like here, seminar, and other thing is conferences, and then the paper presentation. All right, so this was their first year of study at university, and they are going to be teaching kindergarten. And I have asked, and all of them were just completed their secondary school education. None of them have any experience in working. And then during the lesson 3, I've told them this pedagogy called Flip the Classroom. So I told them what that is, and then I asked them to give them a short introduction, and then on the wiki site, I have posted 19 video clips that actually were produced by my research assistant. And this is also one of the things that we have to be careful whether we are going to use your own video clip or you can find something online. Because for producing a video, it takes a lot of time. Don't think that, oh, it is really good, I've recorded, I don't have to teach, all right? Because before this project, I have taught a master course in blended learning, and I have tried to use some blended approach in teaching, and I have recorded the PowerPoint using my own voice, and it took me a lot of time, yeah, because I didn't know it was so difficult. You will see sometimes your hiccups, sometimes you didn't say it right, and things like that, okay? So it took a lot of time, and the same thing for my RA. So I gave him the syllabus, and actually this Pixeler was taught a year before, so we have produced some kind of a training guide for the student already. So there were materials ready, and there was a topic that has to be covered. But in this video clip, actually, I have asked him to produce more than it was in the training guide, all right? So he said, actually, he was like me. In the first video, he has to make over 10 times to make the first one, all right? So it's not easy. And then it is also very important that the video should not last for a very long time, because the student will get bored. All right, so maybe let's look at what we have done. So the 19 topics there. And as I said, this one was for high dip. So actually we didn't use English. We used Chinese as a teaching medium because, as you know, most of the kindergarten Chinese. So let's look at an example for the video that the RA has produced.
而家教大家點樣將呢個剪出嚟嘅海鷗圖片黏貼喺呢張海嘅圖片上面，變成呢幅圖片。我哋可以打開一張新嘅背景圖片，然後將啱先選取出嚟嘅海鷗圖片複製，然後黏貼喺新嘅背景圖片上面。跟住我哋可以點擊菜單上面嘅編輯，然後點擊自由變換或者自由變形嚟調整呢個海鷗喺背景圖片嘅位置。我哋可以調整呢個海鷗嘅大細，可以旋轉呢隻海鷗，可以移動海鷗嘅位置。調整好之後，點擊屏幕，然後暗示就可以啦。我哋仲可以點擊自由變形，去改變海鷗嘅形狀。喺調整完畢之後，點擊屏幕，再點擊試就可以啦。
So firstly, I've asked him to see if he could find out any video or PowerPoint, etc., on the web about Pistler. However, there are not many, especially in Cantonese. Another thing is that it is not really not up to my expectation. Why the difference is here? Because I would like him to put the outcome right at the beginning. That is, so the student will know what I expected. Because for a lot of video, you do not know what I expected until at the end. So I think it was really help the student to know, oh, I will learn to use the seagull and then to merge it with the background, and this is the outcome. All right. So it is really outcome based. All right. So apart from this, actually, the student have to fill in a post-test afterwards. So I said, I know if you have done your work or not just I give you the video and then you will just ignore it, all right? So as I said, when they come back, they have to do something together, but they didn't know what that is. So actually what they have to do is to edit a group photo first. So I think it would be good for them to talk to each other, and then for those who might not understand, they could learn from their peer as well as from the teacher. Okay, so do not think that when they come back to classes, the teacher will just go out. So I was there to answer question as well. So in order to know if individual actually learn, so they also have to edit their individual photos. So the group photo is actually one of the assignment is for them to construct a website, okay, for primary school teachers or kindergarten children. So that's it. So this is the photos of what they have been doing. And then after the study, they were asked to fill in an online questionnaire and to see how they like about the flipped classroom and to see if it really helped to develop their generic skills. Okay, so the response rate is quite encouraging, and we also look at the answers, all right? About the flipped classroom, there are multiple answers. So what they find the best is to learn it on their own time and their own pace, all right? So to counter anyone that to answer just questionnaire, tick, 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 tick. So I have come up with a questionnaire that is the opposite. For example, I feel helpless, I less motivated to learn. And then for the generic part, that actually they find the self-study skill has developed and also the self-management skill. Although we are very happy, but however, the last rating is actually I have fully understood the content of the topic via flipped classroom was not very high, although it's still quite high, 3.85. So I wanted to find out why later. So these are some of the outcome of what they have done. They submitted on the website they have to do for the group project, and this is the individual one. And also an observation for the individual, they was towards the end of the class. Some have finished, some have not. So I have given them extra time, so 1 more week to them to complete. And this was very encouraging because I can see all the students work very hard to edit their photos, and some still stay longer than the class ended and say, if I could stay longer, I would say, well, it depends if the classroom is booked or not. So it is quite different from a normal class, so the students are usually rushing out when the class ended. Okay, so I have conducted some focus group interviews. So we also always took pictures, so just to as an evidence of what we did. And one of the things they said is that really enhanced their interest, and it is really less boring because they do not have to look at all the video, because some they think, oh, open an account, I know it already, I don't really have to watch the video, all right? And some what really good, they said that I can learn step by step on my own. If I don't understand, I can always go back. So this is one of the key thing of flipped classroom. We have the resources ready, so when they are in doubt, they can go back. Of course, they can talk to the teacher as well, all right? So what are the limitations of the study? So it's like a lot of study, all these questionnaire are subjective opinion. And I was very happy during the focus group meeting. They were very happy, very excited. So I'm not sure they want to please me or not. So my future direction is I hope that I would teach one class with a traditional one to see the outcome if it's the same or not, and also maybe to ask some of those who do not seem doing well and see what difficulties that they have. All right, and there were some publication, and one is under review. So I was actually rather unhappy for the last one under review because I've submitted it for many months and I just got the from the editor say your article has been assigned to be reviewed after 4 months. So this is the life. Thanks very much for attention and coming to this seminar. Yeah, thank you. And please, if you haven't eaten sandwiches and around.